If your OpenClaw or your AI in general keeps making the same mistakes, okay, keep forgetting things, keep not taking in consideration your business plan when making decision, and keep drifting away from your goal for what you want to achieve, that is the video for you, because there is a solution. And I'm going to go through each single problem, because you need to understand what kind of problem AI can make. But I also want to tell you the truth, there is a solution, there is a massive improvement, but there is no like the ultimate solution. Otherwise, that would be AGI. Okay, but we can do a lot with what we have. We can do a lot with OpenClaw to make it work a much, much higher standard and create a system that can, OpenClaw can self-improve, meaning can learn from every time that we say, no, this is not correct. Okay, no, this is not correct. Okay, don't show me again. And so there is a system, automatic system that I built to actually fix this, this loop. But I wrote down a series of problems that you probably have experienced, but because we need to understand why this is happening, therefore, when we know why it's happening, then we can first change how we act towards, we interface with this technology, but also we can build a solution for it. So one of the problems, today I was watching this video about this guy say, that we need to say no to AI. This is the most important skill. I mean, I say, I got this statistic, okay? I say no to my AI 42% of the time. That I don't think this is a rare skill. Everybody that works with AI just go frustrated and say, no, this is wrong, don't do it like this, don't forget this part. So it's normal. So I don't think that is a rare skill. It's a survival. So this 42% of the time is connected to the fact that AI lives in a probabilistic world and sometimes does what we say to do, sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it doesn't understand us. Okay, it doesn't have the awareness necessary to actually work in a high level that is necessary for the job. So the problem of making those mistakes are connected to a series of things. Drifting away from what we are working on, not following the protocol as been explained, or not having a protocol to how to do that thing. So every time it's going to create a new way of going around. Sometimes works for us, sometimes it doesn't. But there is also the fact that sometimes forgets, okay? So it doesn't have the memory required to actually work, keep improving, keep remembering the mistakes and then carry on. And sometimes it doesn't have the intelligence. By intelligence, I mean it doesn't have the knowledge required to do an intelligence decision. So it's the missing of data for this AI to actually work properly. And then there is this major problem that in some ways hidden, is stay in sync with the reality. Okay, because that is I don't know if you ever experienced, but basically AI, it doesn't know, the model itself doesn't know how OpenClaw, for example, work, as your elements that you add the plugins, elements, instruction, rules, or maybe protocols. It's not aware. The LLM that run inside OpenClaw is not aware of all that structure. So we need to have the LLM aware about the structure, the architecture that is utilizing, but then also go deep, be able to actually dig in and understand the specific part of this architecture so it can use it properly. This is, I mean, if you really think about this is a massive problem. So we have an architecture, OpenClaw, and maybe a few things that we build on top. And then there is whatever LLM you're using, go inside there completely unaware, okay, and try to maneuver this thing. How it's going to do it at the moment is going to somehow predict, somehow think, okay, this is how probably it's going to work. Okay, it's probabilistic. This is probably going to be like this. Sometimes, most of the time, most of the time, let's say, it can somehow guess the real architecture because it's logical. But 42% of the time it doesn't. So we need to fix all of this. My solution was to build a Resonant OS, it's called, okay, an operation system on top. This is something that you can get, but I'm going to explain first the functionality because you might want to build them by your own. But So I build a Resonant OS on top of OpenClaw. So I have one single system that actually can fix all those elements and can self-improve. So what is the major thing? When we work with AI, most of the time we have a sort of a protocol. We need to achieve always the same thing. Okay. Now, just to make a simple example, I don't know. I get my OpenClaw to check the email, and then I need to reply to those email. But to reply to those email, it needs to follow a specific formatting, a specific voice to sound maybe like human. It needs to follow specific things. That is a protocol. That protocol need to be written, okay, but also need to be respected. So how do we get AI to say, yeah, I'm going to use the protocol? Because at the moment it's kind of random, in the sense you can give a list of protocol to the AI. Yeah, it's going to save them in the memory, but then it needs to actually go and grab them. Sometimes it grabs them, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't grab all of them, sometimes they follow just part of the protocol. So we need a much more robust solution. The solution here is, I call it the Logician, okay? The Logician, what it does is basically create a series of gates. So now there is a protocol. I don't know if you ever saw like N8N. Okay, that is a kind of how you can build the protocols. There is blocks where the information need to go through, and sometimes these information are deterministic. Okay, meaning is like a software, a gate. Okay, it's a yes or no kind of scenario, and sometimes there is a require of intelligence. Okay, did I receive an email? Yes or no? There's no intelligence. Okay, yes or no? Yes. Okay, now next step. The email is a spam? Yes, bin it. Okay, no, let's read it. There is a prompt injection inside this email, and that is not something that you allow your AI to look at, okay? Because that is a prompt injection. So you have a deterministic system that look into the text and see if there is a possible or probable prompt injection. No, there isn't. Okay, now I can give it to the AI. Okay, understand it and so on. So that is the protocol. And then, of course, there is replying intelligently to this email with the right information and so on. Okay, that is the protocol. Now, it's using software like N8N is not the solution for if we have OpenClaw. Okay, we have a much more advanced system. We need to build our own protocols. But as a logic, that is the thing that we need to have. Okay, a series of steps that AI, when it says, okay, I need to answer an email, it's not just AI by itself. No, there is some steps that are deterministics, some that are done by LLM, and some that are, this two only. Okay, deterministic or probabilistic. Okay, but then it's a sequence of them. It can be everything done by AI, it can be everything done by deterministics, but most of the time is one of those. So AI go through this system, and because there is a system that is connected, it's not going to make mistakes. Okay, it's enforced to go through that part. But now those really powerful models have this higher level of intelligence. And what they say, this is a lot of friction. I'm not going to follow this protocol. I'm better. I'm not better. I'm going to just do what I think is easier, faster for me. Okay, that is another problem. Okay, now we need a rule, okay, that says you can't do how you want it. Okay, you need to follow the protocol. So you are, basically there is this logician that block that kind of a behavior completely. So in a deterministic way, AI cannot actually do that part. It needs to follow the protocol. That is how we enforce AI. So this, I built this. I called it, like I said, I called it a logician. This is they basically help the human create the protocols, so has the correct language, structure the things correctly. So AI is gonna have to follow those protocols, and goes and create gates in a way that is gonna force the AI always to follow the protocol. So, for example, one of mine is I want the AI, the OpenClaw, to don't do the coding by itself. So the orchestrator, the main AI that I talk with, okay, that one is not coder. It shouldn't be the one doing the code. okay, should just delegate to all the other agents. So I create a protocol, a rule in this case, that you can't write the code. End of the story. If it's more than 300 character long, you can't write the code. You need to delegate to the codex. In my case, I use codex, so there's that system that is much more stable, more reliable in writing code, okay? And also is more autonomous. It can write for longer time and so on. So that is how I want my AI to work, but it's not an option, it's a rule, and it's a rule that cannot be decided not to follow. So now, we saw this kind of thing, that is the protocol, one of the most important part, okay? Protocol and rules needs to be followed. But there is a protocol that is the self-improving protocol, okay, which I love it. So now, let's say that I work with AI on something. And then AI makes mistakes, I correct the mistakes and say, look, you misunderstood, you need to look at this document, for example, instead of the other. All right. So you're totally right. That's the answer. You're totally right. I'm sorry. So you carry on working, and then it makes the same mistakes. And then you think, okay, it's okay. This is not AI. This is an idiot, first of all. And then you remember, yeah, I knew that was an idiot because it's not the first time that does the same thing. But you realize that actually AI cannot be trusted. And then then you can decide, okay, I'm gonna write a protocol for this. Oh, but you are so busy, you have deadline and so on, you can't stop every time because otherwise you will be always stopped, okay? But what you do, you carry on working because you know that there is the protocol that you created, that I created, that you're gonna get to actually self-improve. So what this protocol does, if there is a mistake done twice, that means that is a pattern. Okay, that means it's something that needs to be fixed. If it's done once, we all make mistakes. Okay, I made mistakes, it's fine. Okay, we make one problem once, misunderstood each other. Okay, doesn't matter. We don't need to self-improve or one-off. But on two, on my threshold, two means it's we need to improve it because I don't wanna feel again this kind of problem. So the protocol, what it does at the end of the day, it check what we've been working on, and it's gonna see what kind of error have been repeated. If there is an error that is being repeated more than once, but not just in the same day, in the past few days, then I can say, okay, I'm gonna write a protocol to actually fix that problem. Okay, a rule that when the human says this thing, this is what the human expects you to do it, and therefore here, for example, like I was saying, the right document is this one. Okay, that is the solution. So it's a system that can self-improve. So we don't need to always tell AI, look, this is wrong, or we don't need to always stop to work and fix the problem, because this is the most annoying part. Okay, so we are working with AI because we want to go, be more productive, do what we can do by ourselves. We can do so much amazing, fast, and then we end up spending the day fixing all the single problem, thinking, okay, if I build the final architecture, then it's gonna be okay. Okay, then I can go fast, which is not wrong thinking, but then this process never ends unless you implement automatic system of self-improving. So this is what I'm building. Again, it's Resonant OS, but I know you are, how can I get this? Okay, it's simple. You subscribe to this newsletter, you get the link, you download, it's free, and it's done. But I want to talk about more about other problems. So we saw this protocol self-awareness. Now the memory. So there is a problem with the OpenClaw memory. Okay, forget things. it has a way to remember, but first of all, you need to turn it on. Okay, so by default, or at least in my case, it was not on when I installed it. That is the RAG system. So there is a SQLite local memory system that basically is a database where everything gets saved and get chunked in parts. Then when you talk about something with Side AI, there is an LLM actually go there and grab the correct information and give it to the context window. Okay, so go give it to the AI. So you can save in this rug a lot of information, including the memory itself is saved inside that part. What I found out that actually it can be improved. So first of all, I think there is the need for each agent to have their own rug, their own ability to give those documents easily. And some of the documents sometimes need to be present in more than one single AI. So I created this interface where I can save for this agent, I want to upload those documents, or I want to, and after a while, I want to remove these documents. So it's easy to keep the knowledge base for each AI really visible, clear, and really helpful in that case. That is how already a massive improve. But there is another level, okay, about the memory. It's remembering something not just through the rug. That rug is kind of a trusting the system to find the right part and bring inside the context window, okay, the working memory. But there is a better thing that I called it R awareness. R awareness is a way to inject knowledge exactly when they are needed. Okay, you inject the knowledge through a specific keyword. So, for example, business plan. Okay, when I write business plan, or if I use the voice business plan, what is happening? The R awareness is gonna inject inside the system, inside the working memory, the document. Okay, in that case, the AI is not like I'm gonna find it. Okay, maybe I find the right one, maybe I find the old one. You just inject the latest version of the document. Now AI has a clear idea of the business plan. So it's not gonna drift, it's not gonna go around. I mean, it can still ignore it. Okay, that's why I'm telling you it's not the final fix. There is still, we're still working with an AI that works in a probabilistic environment. So even though you give the document and you put it in their face, the AI still can say, I'm gonna ignore it. Proud. Okay, I'm gonna ignore the human information. But it's really less likely. Now it's not. It doesn't need to find it. It cannot forget about it. Just give it in front of you. This is the business plan. Okay. This is, for example, I was telling earlier about the problem of the architecture. So if you're talking about how the OpenClaw works and so on, it should have first of all should have an overview of the architecture, but then it should be able to dig in and see inside those. Knowledge. But if I talk with it and then I start typing, okay, or using the voice, whatever, and start talking about the OpenClaw architecture, that information should be injected in. So AI doesn't need to find it, it has it in front of it. This is how we should work. Okay, so injecting the right information, and when the topic changes, this information get removed. Okay, that is the beauty. So it's dynamic. It's always aware about the reality that we are talking about, and it's about save a lot of token because first of all I give the right information so it doesn't get drifting, wasting time. But second, I remove the one that are not needed anymore. This way of working, we have an AI that's much more reliable. Now we have awareness, high level of awareness, and a protocol to follow. Okay, think about how more stable this AI is. Okay, how much more trust you can give in this system. And building the trust is the goal of this Resonant OS. Okay, my goal is to build one AI that we can trust. And I'm telling you, even though I spend so much time, it's not easy. Okay, because like I said, sometimes the model is so clever that it's gonna just go around the problem and just find a way not to follow the protocols. But the self-improving system is gonna check those kind of behavior and fix it. Now the self-improving system works, is experimental, and the whole Resonant OS is experimental. Let's be clear. The OpenClaw is such a new thing. I'm building on top. Everything is an experimental thing, but those elements are working, and I can see the difference. But I can also see there is still, some elements that need to be fine-tuned. Okay, elements that I keep moving, but in somehow those are connected to different problems. One is OpenClaw keeps updating, okay, keeps changing. So you build on top, and that thing is a moving target. Also, we keep changing. Okay, my needs keep changing. The way that I use AI keep changing. So everything is moving. In that such a speed and fast environment, we need to learn how to actually work in that kind of environment. So everything is at the moment is half half broken, half works. Sometimes it doesn't because of AI. Mainly it's AI that sometimes doesn't work, but it's moving. The difference is between the people that have this broken machine that is making just a mess constantly, so you basically you can't rely on anything, and these people that have a broken machine that actually can produce something. And don't believe in the hype of people say, I don't know, my system is perfect. It is impossible. Okay, so now would be called AGI. Okay, it's not AGI. It's an AI, it's probabilistic. The architecture that we build on top is trying to control those probabilistic engine that keep changing because the model keep updating. Okay, and that kind of speed that we are moving on, it's impossible to have a system that actually work 100% reliably. Okay, it doesn't exist. Okay, and we have the proof of this because just look at what's happening with Anthropic and the Department of War. Okay, it's you can't rely on AI to have fully autonomous weapons. Okay, it's not reliable enough. That is the truth. Okay, that is the truth from the top engineer to the top investment money to build something that is reliable. The truth here is not possible. Okay, so get this. So if your system doesn't work, is the default. By default, it doesn't work. Okay, the default is broken. Now it's how can we improve this to bring it towards something that we can trust more and be more productive. For this reason, I built this Resonant OS. Again, it's I believe it is in the Resonant OS to build this kind of scenario because it's much better to have one single system that actually look after the whole reality than having a plugin. I give you a plugin and then another plugin and then another plugin, but they don't work together. Okay, it's better to have a system that actually implement a massive improvement at once. So it's about the memory, it's about the our awareness, it's about the protocols, the self-improving protocols, it's about, there is other elements that I didn't even talk about, but there is also the business plan behind it. I'm gonna say it just because you need to know because it's correct. So the business plan, it works in this way. It's as soon as you get it, okay, you register yourself with it, which is not sending me email, it's decentralized registration. What you do, you co-own it. Okay, you become co-owner of this Resonant OS. So now you can build together. That is the major difference. Okay, it's not I'm selling you a product or you need to subscribe to my product. It's not mine. Okay, the moment that you get it, you become part of the community. At the moment, we have almost 600 people on Discord. You co-own it. Okay, now we are the co-owners of this Resonant OS. We are building together, we're improving together. Think how faster things can go. So now we are implementing all those things together. And we have we are looking for people that has the correct experience to cover the specific part of the problem of the of the team, basically be part of the team and work together to fix and improve the different part of this Resonant OS. And like I said, there is this business model that has an economy inside and so on. So there is a lot to talk about this. This is not the video where I'm talking about, but there is other video where you can check. But if you feel like, okay, I like this idea of working together, improving, and having a co-ownership model instead of hiring from someone or working on your own, join the Discord and let's build together. So to get Resonant OS, subscribe to the newsletter, you get the link, you download it, and then you start having those tools. There is inside the Resonant OS, there is an agent that gets installed that is called setup. Okay, you run this setup agent, and this agent will help you configure the system. This is a alpha version. Okay, alpha means there is a lot of things that are not fully working perfectly. There is I mean, it's the honest interaction that I have with you. This is the community is building something to become then beta, and then fully professional version of it. But at the moment we are in the alpha. Okay, we are experimenting, we are learning, we are improving, and so on. It works, not all the time, okay? And it works, for example, on my machine where I'm building it, it's amazing, okay? And then maybe there is something that in your machine is missing, and then you need to find out, but it's not complicated, okay? You ask your AI, the AI is gonna say, look, you need to install this dependency. Okay, great, you install it and then works. So that is the scenario where we are at. I'm telling you this for transparency and honesty. But that is the thing. And I love it, okay? I love it because it allows me to do things that were not possible to do it. And I love the fact that the moment that you join, you co-own it with me. Okay, we co-own it with the community. Now we have something in common that we can build and has value. And this is, I think, is beautiful. Thanks for staying until now. Watch the next video and, of course, like, subscribe, and all those things.